What's going on, guys? It's Fight Season MMA, and today I want to make a video talking about why is Dana White so infatuated with Jon Jones. It is absolutely insane, these memes coming out recently on MMA Twitter, where Dana White is pulling the card packs, where he got that Jon Jones card, and he was absolutely glazing Jon Jones like crazy. Why is Dana White acting like this? Has he always been acting like this around Jon Jones? And truly, is there something else going on here? And why do I think the possibility here of Dana White doing this? Is it just because Dana White thinks so highly of Jon Jones? Is it because he just genuinely thinks that Jon Jones is the greatest athlete of all time, or is there some other reason intact? And we're going to jump into that in this video. If you guys enjoyed the UFC content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That is the best way to support the channel. As well, please go down there and hit the post notifications button just so you guys are always notified when UFC content releases. But let's jump right into the video of why Dana White could possibly be so infatuated with Jon Jones. Okay, so recently all over MMA Twitter, there has been so many different memes of Dana White saying that Jon Jones is the MMA GOAT and this and that, but that's not that bad. But you look at this recent card opening ceremony that Dana White had for a new card brand, and they pulled a Jon Jones King MMA card. He genuinely looked so excited to see this card coming out of the pack, and he said it was the best card you could ever see. It was better than every single other card that you could ever get. They pulled a signed card after that, and Dana White was still looking at this Jon Jones card. But why do I think that this could possibly be happening inside the UFC organization? And why do I feel like Dana White gives Jon Jones privilege over all of these other fighters? If you look at Jon Jones' career outside the UFC organization, Jon Jones has like 8 arrests or something crazy like that, and he just got arrested previously for hitting a drug testing woman, which is absolutely insane. But Dana White does even say that he understands Jon Jones' outside thing. He doesn't have a great relationship with him, but he just says that he's the greatest of all time. And this I do agree with, because there in the NBA, there is the debate about Michael Jordan and LeBron James. And there's some people out there who just genuinely are so glazed upon LeBron James, which is just absolutely nutty. But I do think Dana White here has just some hopes and just some, bias towards Jon Jones in the fact that he needs to, or he wants to just show how much he's been appreciated inside the UFC organization. And as a business owner standpoint, I think Dana White loves Jon Jones so much just because of the amount of money Jon Jones has made Dana White. And I think that's the underlying standpoint here. Yes, Jon Jones is the greatest fighter of all time. He has the most title defenses. But if you look in UFC history, he has been the most relied upon fighter. He has been in 15 title fights in his UFC career, which is absolutely insane. He's going to be in another title fight, which is absolutely insane. But you always look at Jon Jones stepping into the octagon. He's done it for so long. Dana White says the day that Jon Jones retires is going to be an absolute travesty inside the UFC organization. But if you just look at all of this different type of stuff going on, I think Dana White just understands Jon Jones's value to the company, and that is completely commendable because of Jon Jones's legacy inside the UFC and of how much money he truly has made Dana White. But is there any other reason? The other thing that just really that throws me off is the fact that Dana White is treating Jon Jones just as a king compared to everyone else. And the reason I mean that is he went on an interview yesterday with Pat McAfee, where Pat McAfee asked him about a possible Alex Pereira fight, and Dana White super adamantly said no. And I think that that's just wrong to say, because I think if Jon Jones called out Alex Pereira, I think that Dana White would do that fight over a fight with Tom Aspinall, which I do think is wrong, but I do think would happen. Dana White has gone on record to say that Tom Aspinall doesn't deserve anything inside the UFC, even though he's the interim champion after Jon Jones tore his pec and defended his title prior to Jon Jones returning, which is just absolutely insane to me. But ultimately, why do I believe that Dana White is so infatuated with Jon Jones? Like I said, I just believe it's Dana White trying to he loves Jon Jones in the fact of a business standpoint, of how he's the UFC's most valuable asset right there behind Conor McGregor, of how he has genuinely put out there some of the best and highest selling pay-per-views for the longest period of time in the UFC organization. And I think Dana White truly also believes that he is the best fighter in the organization, which is 100% viable. But the other thing I wanted to get on is Dana White talking about the pound for pound rankings. The pound for pound rankings inside the UFC organization are meant to be for the best fighters in their respective weight classes and being able to travel across different divisions. So if you look at someone like Islam Makhachev, his style could translate up and down within the UFC organization, no matter of size, and that is the point of pound for pound rankings. But I think Dana White is getting that confused with greatest of all time, because in his opinion, Jon Jones, no debate, should be greatest of all, or pound for pound number one inside the UFC organization, which is 100% true if you're talking about all time pound for pound. But if you're looking at the organization now, I can name a couple people for you right now who I would have pound for pound over Jon Jones. I would have Tom Aspinall, I would have Ilya Topuria, I would have Max Holloway, and I would have Islam Makhachev, just as 4 fighters that I would have currently over Jon Jones pound for pound. But that is not talking about size. That is only including skill within the UFC organization. And I don't think it's unreasonable to say that Jon Jones isn't the pound for pound number one fighter just because Jon Jones is getting up there in age compared to when he was a title holder in the UFC organization. And he was so dominant when he was younger, being the youngest champion ever, and him now being 36 years old. So the UFC has been with Jon Jones for over a third of his life, which is something absolutely nutty. But I don't think that's super crazy to say, but I just think that Dana White is getting a little confused with the difference of all-time pound for pound and current pound for pound rankings. Because if you look at someone's skill for skill, Islam Makhachev versus Jon Jones, Islam is a way better striker than Jones, and Islam would be a comparable wrestler to Jon Jones right now. If you give Islam Makhachev skills in Jon Jones' body currently, no one is beating Jon Jones inside the UFC organization, not even Tom Aspinall right now. Jones would absolutely demolish Tom Aspinall, but I just think that Dana White is getting the two confused, and that is more than okay just because he is the head of the organization. He's seen so many different fighters fight, and I think truly the competition of greatest UFC fighter of all time is Jon Jones and possibly Georges St. Pierre, but I do think the consensus around the organization would be Jon Jones. But I do think that someone like Islam Makhachev is 100% a better pound for pound fighter, skill for skill, than someone like Jon Jones right now. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA, and please let me know what you think about this video down below of Dana White just being so infatuated with Jon Jones and of why I believe this is the case. I just think Dana White is just so thankful for Jon Jones being one of the biggest draws in the UFC. He has been so reliable over his entire career, and I think that Jon Jones was one of the best things to ever happen in the UFC, and I think Dana White just thinks so highly in the organization as a businessman, always being there to fight and fighting for the longest time. All the time. And you look at all this Conor McGregor drama. I understand that Jon Jones had drama off the outside the octagon with the PEDs and the arrests, but he was always there to fight. He had a long career. And look at Conor McGregor. He's fought like 5 times since UFC 200, which is 7 years, which is absolutely insane. But that's just my opinion. If you guys enjoyed the UFC content, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. That would be absolutely amazing if you could go down there and hit the post notifications button just so you guys are always notified when I release content. And please help me reach 1,000 subscribers. That would be absolutely amazing. We're on the road there right now. We're just over 750. And that would be absolutely amazing if you guys enjoyed the UFC content that you would go down and hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA. And please let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section below. And I will see you guys later with more UFC content and news.